Okay, we're live. Sorry for the dead space there. I was looking at the chat here, and yes, Barker, you come right back. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Mappening. This is Mappening number 7. My name is Nate. You're watching WASD20. I'm going to turn this off here so that I stop getting... can I pause the video? There we go. I don't want to hear the ad. All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm really excited to be doing this. This was kind of an impromptu thing, but we are live, and I see a bunch of people in the chat. It looks like we've got 7 viewers at the moment. Thank you guys for tuning in. I thought we would start tonight. The main goal, I'll first start with that. The main goal is going to be to make a map bookmark, a bookmark with a map on it, basically. This is one of the patron rewards for, I started Patreon last month, and it's something I got to do. And I thought, you know what? This is something I've got to do. People have been asking for the Mappening for a couple of months now. When is the next Mappening? When is the next Mappening? It used to be a monthly thing. And I thought I owe it to the people to, if I'm doing something somewhat mappy, to stream it and call it a Mappening. So that's what we're here for. And I want to wish you all a happy holidays. This is the holiday edition. And in that spirit, you can raise your glass of eggnog with me. Or if you don't like eggnog, screw you! No, you're okay. But yeah, here we go. Tonight we're going to be doing a bookmark. I thought I would start by asking you all, and you chime in the chat, and I will chime in as well. What gaming loot did you get for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate? What gaming loot have you taken in this holiday season, yarg? The booty. And so if you want to answer that in the chat, I'd love to hear what you got. And I'll be sharing a bit of what I got. Not much this year. But yeah, let's see here. I'll share. Me first, then you guys. Well, you guys go ahead and chime in the chat while I'm talking here. The first thing, I didn't get much for Christmas this year. It's been quite a year. We moved. My wife and I have been buying a lot of stuff for the house, and it's been, yeah, I don't know. It's been expensive, and moving it can be kind of expensive. But I did treat myself to one thing. So this is a Christmas gift to myself. I cheated. The focus on Christmas these days, I mean, it's my kids. I got a 7, 5, and a 2-year-old. So, it's the kids. But I treated myself because I knew that they weren't going to treat me. And I got the Adventures in Middle-earth Player's Guide, which I'm pretty excited about. Started reading through this a little bit. And so this is for 5th edition. And basically how to play games in Middle-earth with the 5th edition rule set with some tweaks to kind of adapt it to make it feel more Middle-earthy. And it is from Cubicle 7, who are the makers of the One Ring role-playing game, which is, of course, the, well, not the original, but a true Middle-earth role-playing game. So I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know if I'll be running games from this, but I had to have it. And hopefully sometime I'll get to run a game from it. Running games is a rarity for me these days, as many of you know, and many of you are bothered by. Let's see. Jorik got Out of the Abyss. Awesome, Jorik 34. BB, I got my friend a dice jail. I don't know what that is. Is that like a dice case? Socks. Dude, I got socks too. I'm going to be gross right now. I'm pretty flexible. Socks. I got these socks today in the mail from my sister, actually. Barker, welcome back. Joseph Klug got some new 5th edition books. Awesome, Joseph. Let's see. Dress up like a reindeer and prance around. Soupy, thanks for the offer. Thanks for the suggestion, but no. Barker, we got a couple Star Wars Destiny booster packs. That's awesome. Got a reindeer pelt. I don't know what to do with it. Oh, Wayne. Oh, boy. You killed Christmas. Oh, for when your dice are bad, they need to be taught a lesson. I have heard that before. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I got a dice case. Some new dice. Says Incursion Gaming. That's awesome. Mike the Piper got Volo's Guide. Squeal. Nice. Welcome, Mike. I got a bass. Or a bass, perhaps. I'm thinking it's a bass. Yep. Nice. The other thing I got is for my kids. So again, I didn't really get I hardly got anything for Christmas. I got a flannel shirt. I got some socks. But in terms of gaming stuff, I did get my kids something that I'm pretty excited about. If I can find it. No Thank You Evil. So yeah, I've been thinking about this for a while. We play a lot of Hero Kids, and I have tried a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons as well, you know, kind of simplified. But the boys, for the first time, really actually enjoyed both of them, 5 and 7, a game of Hero Kids about a month ago. And it was awesome. Oh man, it was so cool just to finally have them both into it. And so I thought I would pick up No Thank You Evil, see what that is. I'll probably do a review at some point. But yeah, let's see what else people are saying. This guy's hat is making me all hot and bothered. Drop dead hunk. Okay, thank you, dude. Thank you, low tier god. You know, I'm bald, so and our furnace is broken. That's what else I got for Christmas, a broken furnace. So I didn't want to wear a beanie because that would be just a little much, but I got to cover any skin that I can here. Anyway, okay. This 1920s style gangster hat, this is a Target hat. So yeah, not so gangster maybe. I'm going to get down to the paper now, guys, and we're going to move the camera here. Close your eyes for about 10 seconds if you are motion sick. If you are motion sick, if you get motion sick easily, there we go. I can talk. Oh no, it's going to take me longer than 10 seconds. Okay, I think I can do this. Oh, my phone is making noises at me because the Mike the Piper retweeted the Mappening. Thanks, Mike. All right, we're getting there. Move my microphone here so you can hear me better in my drawing spot. And adjust. Oh no, I did a bad thing, guys. I broke my little tripod thing, so this is going to be a lot longer than I'm sorry. You guys are going to get a little bit motion sick here. Okay, fixed it. Hi. Now, see if I can get it where it's supposed to go. This is all new to me, guys. This is the first time I've done this at the new place. So one of the reasons I was a little bit late, just a couple minutes, is because I was fussing with the light setup and the webcam focus and all this stuff for a lot longer than I normally would because it's all new. It's a new environment, new lighting. Yeah, I had a lot of things to mess with to get it to look halfway decent. So I might have been a little out of focus on my end, but yeah. Low tier God says, Nate, let's get a crotch cam going. You're close. It's right there. I'm just going to tease you with that. Okay. Yes, seamless transition contrivance. Get that eggnog in my system. All right. So the goal tonight is going to be to make a map on a bookmark, as I mentioned. I looked up some dimensions of bookmarks, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do is 6.5 by 6.5 by what was it? Oh no, I can't remember. It was by 1.5, I believe. I should have wrote that down. I think I have it up on my phone in Safari here. Let's check. Oh, Barker, I'm so glad you're in the eggnog camp. Unlike that tabletop terrors Tim fool. Love you, Tim. All right, here we go. Bookmark size. This one was 2.125 by 6.5. I think I'm just going to do 2.5 by 6.5. I was just looking up dimensions of bookmarks. And so 2.5 by 6.5 is what we're going to do. And I'm going to double that, and then I'm going to scan it in. I'm going to be doing part of it digitally, but today probably just the hand-drawn portion. And I might not do the final version, but just kind of messing around and experimenting and seeing how this could be possible. So if it is 6.5, doubled is going to be 13. And this is an 11 by 14 pad here. So I'm going to do, let's see, 6.5. Okay, so 13. This is 14. So I just need to measure 1/2 inch on each side, basically, if I want to center it. So we'll do that. 1/2 inch there. And we'll do 1/2 inch there. And you guys are getting the full experience here. We'll do 3/4 inch since that's about where I drew the line. And 3/4 inch. By the way, I wasn't lying when I said our furnace is broken. The guys are coming tomorrow to fix it, but it is giving some heat right now. We have to keep it really low to make sure it doesn't go out again. Not really low, not even that low. We have it at 65 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not bad. But since we've had kids, we've always kept it at like 68. So, you know, we're suffering a tiny bit here. All right. Now I'm just going to eyeball this here. Doesn't need to be exact, but I'm going to draw a line. And hopefully I can fit like 2 drafts of bookmarks on this page. We'll see about that. Okay. And now, yeah, it's not quite long enough. So we'll make do here. Gonna have to eyeball it. Gonna have to get my head in the way of the camera for a second here, guys, so I can really get the bird's eye view. And doesn't need to be exact. I can always trim a little bit in Photoshop. Yeah, it's a little off, but close enough. And then, so we've got our 13 there. So the reason I'm doubling it in size is just so I can do more detail, right? If you're going to be making a map, it's always a good idea to, and if you're going to be scanning it in and doing it digitally, it's always a good idea to start a little bigger than you actually need. So let's see here. 2.5 would make us 5. So now we'll measure 5 here. Okay. There we go. I actually might only be able to fit 1 on this page. Let's see what this dimension is here. Nope, we can fit 2, just barely. I could have moved it up as well, but so you can see we're real close to the bottom there, but that'll do. And now five here. Okay. And action. Now, so the ruler, Baral, maybe I'm saying that right. Just trying to get straight lines, and I'm trying to measure the rough dimensions of my bookmark that I'm making. Today I'm making a bookmark with a map on it. And again, maybe these will just be rough drafts today. We'll see how they go. You know what? I have more light. I'm going to get another. Be back in a moment. There we go. I don't know if that helps or not, but I will start actually drawing the map soon. Okay. So yeah, these are my guides, yes, and I'm measuring the dimensions. So both, yeah. All right, so this is going to be roughly what my bookmark dimensions will be. And now what I'm envisioning is drawing a map here and having the Sellsword Maps logo somewhere. I don't know if that's going to be a thing that I have, you know, at the top of a bookmark, up here or at the bottom, but I'm actually going to draw these a little darker here so you guys can see them a little better, because it looks, as I'm looking at my camera, like you can't really see them that well. I want you to be able to. There we go. We're getting there. All right. And again, sorry if my head's getting in the way here. Okay. Pretty good. So those are going to be the rough dimensions of my bookmark. And now, and how big of a book is it for? That's what I was kind of debating. Like, do I want to make this an RPG bookmark, or do I want to make it a novel bookmark? But yeah, I decided I'm going to go with 2.5 by 6.5. And this is it doubled. I'm doing it in double size so that I can get more detail. And then I will be scanning it into Photoshop and doing some digital work, giving it the old aged paper look and all that stuff. So yeah. Prupra, welcome. Good to see you in the stream here. Let's see if I missing anything else in the chat. People talking about the weather. Uh-oh, I got people talking about the weather. Yeah. Yeah, we've got pretty cold weather here. I think it's around 30 probably. But we actually had a lot of snow melt yesterday here in Michigan. We got up to like 45 or 50 or something. It was crazy. So we're going to draw a map here. And I have no idea where we're starting, guys. So let's just start drawing some things. I envision that one of the corners is going to be a landmass of some kind. I could do the bean technique if I had some beans, but I don't. They're upstairs. We're going to just sketch in lightly. You probably can't see this real well, but we're sketching in very lightly. There you can see that kind of. Maybe I'll hold it up so you can see it better. Some landmasses. Incursion Gaming. I would go with Cool Ranch Doritos if it were me. Barker, Mapping 2. All right, man. That's awesome. All right. Oh, thank you, Prupra. Prupra says, thanks, Nate. I'll try to hang for a bit, even though it's late. Yeah. It's late where you are. Denmark, I think. I guess every time. MTD, Jake, welcome. And I think it's Zach, your son, I think is his name. So, hey, Zach. Zach, I got to meet you at some point, man. Game with you and your dad. All right. There's a landmass, guys. And so this would be the land here. And then I'm also thinking we're going to have lots of islands on this. Okay. So these are just the rough shapes right now. Oh, Jake, you said your son's name. So now I sound like now I sound dumb. Oh, I guessed it right. All right, so we're doing some kind of islands here. And we're going to draw a big island right here. There we go. Man, it's been a while, guys. It has been a while. I've mentioned this before on several videos, just hanging around with people, that I'm kind of been going through a mapping rut a bit. Really, I think it's been ever since last last June when I finished the Aeronaut map, and I've mentioned this before. I did 3 maps in that month, and I've just been I got burnt out, and I've never really recovered. I loved doing the Aeronaut map, but it really did take a lot, and there have been a couple other jobs since then too, after that were just like, I don't know, weren't doing it for me. You know, I made it work, got the maps done, but yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle, and I think maybe also moving and all that stuff can take a toll too. All right, I'm talking and I'm not multitasking well. I made a line of islands. You probably can't see it real well. It's just too much. It's too perfect. So I'm gonna do some erasing here. The line goes a little too long. I think that's a little better. Now let's do a big landmass stretching down here, reaching down. All right, we're gonna do it kind of jagged there. And we'll do it jagged here too. So I've never done a map in this shape before. Freelix, thanks for joining me. Good night, man. Medieval 3D, hello. Yeah, I encourage you, you know, grab a pencil, sketch along. If that's your thing. That's what it's all about here on the Mappening. All right. Now, made kind of a landmass, and again, I'll tip it up so you can see it a little better, but kind of a funky looking landmass up there. I want a lot of islands on this one. I don't want to make one that's just like, here's a landmass in towns and cities. I want to make a lot of the interest, I guess the interesting things, I guess, on this map. Just the shape of the landmasses, because I'm going to have a title somewhere. I even thought maybe I would put a couple quotes, a couple of my favorite quotes on some of these bookmarks, maybe do a variety. Something like some Tolkien quotes, maybe like not all who wander are lost, I think is one. Stuff like that. I love some of those quotes. I heard another one the other day that's just like, oh man, Tolkien, he just nails it. But yeah, yes, a digital tablet counts. Did I already say that? I'm a little hopped up on eggnog. How do you guys drink your eggnog? I got to be honest. I like an alcoholic beverage. I'm a fan, but my eggnog, I just drink it straight up, no alcohol. Usually, I don't mind it with alcohol. It's just like, it's so good without it. So there you go. I'm a rebel like that. Don't give up, skeleton. I'm not familiar with that quote. MTD likes it rum filled. Yep, that's what I would do if I had it anyway. I hear people doing brandy too, I think is common. Okay, now I should do a landmass down here in this area. Void Talon Gaming, it's Dark Souls. Okay, yep. Let's see. Just not a huge one there, but something reaching out of the water. Reaching out into the water, I should say. There we go. Hucta Sphere, I love your name, first of all, and You're at a session right now. Okay, so you're playing in a game. You should probably pay attention to the game, Huctosphere. All right. Medieval 3D is just a random map I'm making up that's going to be on a little Sellsword Maps bookmark. Okay. Make another little something reaching out right there. And then over here, let's do some islands, some more islands. We're going to kind of stick with the shape. I'm not real great at like, it takes a lot of experimentation, I guess I should say, for me to come up with shapes that I'm satisfied with. It doesn't just come naturally. Like I can't just look at it and say, here's what it needs. I just have to put it down on paper and then see if it looks good, which is why I really liked that bean technique that I did in part 1 and that I got from Questing Beast, who did it with little cubes that he had. Yeah, been happy to see Questing Beast doing a couple of videos here and there lately because he was inactive for a while. I really dig his map videos. Okay, so far I'm pretty happy with this. I think that we need now to add, you know what, we're going to ink some of it in. And then we can maybe add some islands after that. But as I'm inking, I'm probably going to be varying from or straying from what I've done in pencil, because she moves in mysterious ways. Because the spirit moves me, and I sometimes can't stop myself from just like feeling like, nope, that's not right. I have to go this way instead. Okay, so far, I feel like that's a little too craggy. So I'm going to try to uncragify a bit here. I don't know if I'm being successful in that. Barker says, the voice of an angel. Thank you. Prupra, glog is hot spiced red wine, often with rum and or cognac in it and dried raisins and chopped almonds. Oh, okay. Yeah. See, my dad, I'm Dutch. I'm of Dutch heritage. Like 4th generation or something, you know, distant. So I'm pretty Americanized by this point. But my parents, my dad specifically, was trying to get in touch with his Dutch roots a little more when I was growing up. Here and there, he would try a Dutch recipe, and one of them was boerenjonges, and I think it was boerenmeisjes or something like that. And they were very similar to what you're describing, Prupra. I remember raisins in it, and it would soak for like a month or something like that. And I also remember one that he did with apricots one year, dried apricots that ceased to be dry after a little while. And you know, let me tell you, you could get pretty drunk just eating those raisins. I found that out as a, like, you know, I don't know, 20-year-old that my dad was like, sure, you can try it. You're not a legal drinking age, but I may have been younger. Anyway, in college, I was like, oh man, I should not have eaten those raisins. All right, there we go. Tom Freeston asks, what's your favorite map you've produced? Oh man, that's tough. I would say probably the Aeronaut one, the one that's right on the wall over there. But yeah. OF Dawn 02 says, hey, I just started watching your channel a month or two ago, and I just wanted to say your maps are great. Thank you. I started drawing some recently, and I love it. It's really fun. It is really fun. So yeah, thanks. My favorite D&D race. Human. I did a video a while back. You can probably search for it. It was a long time ago. called Confessions of an RPG Racist. I like humans. I also like dwarves and elves. I'm pretty traditional, guys, which is why I'm really excited for this right here. Low magic, low fantasy-ish, kind of. Ah, Prupra, yeah, your uncle, okay. MTD, you're Dutch too. I didn't know that, but you are in West Michigan, so you know, there's a lot of us out here. Okay, it's going okay. I think it'll be all right. Sorry if I'm not answering every question in the chat and if I'm missing some of you, but I also do want to be sensitive to the fact that people came here to watch me draw something and not just talk. So talk amongst yourselves, and I will try to, you know, answer questions and stuff too when I can, for sure. Take a break every couple minutes. I probably will take a break if you're holding your pee-pee. I will probably hold mine for another 20 minutes or so. Take a break halfway through. I'm planning on going 2 hours tonight, guys. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if I'll make it, but that's the plan. So I'm going to definitely be drawing some smaller islands in here. And, you know, making it feel a little more broken. But, oh, Incursion Gaming, I'm so sorry to hear you're an Ohio fan. That's a bummer. I was just starting to think you were all right. Oh, man, that reminds me. I'm a fair weather fan, and I enjoy watching Michigan football. I do. Former student from my school plays on the Michigan squad, Drake Harris, and so it's fun to see him on the field when he gets minutes and makes plays, which is not super often, but still pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not a diehard. I do get emotionally invested sometimes. But it reminds me of something that happened today. My son has this neighbor kid over, and they're playing. And it's great that, you know, in our new neighborhood, there's lots of kids and they get along really well. But then my son says, I can't remember how it came up, but he says, oh, are you Michigan or Michigan State? And I think the kid was a Michigan State fan. Like, oh, Caleb was like, oh, man. Trump or Hillary? I'm like, oh, no. What are you doing? So, yeah, that was interesting. I'm not going to talk politics, guys. All right. So far, going pretty well. I think I need to get more of these little inlets in here. Tom Freeston, Volo's Guide. Yes, I like Volo's Guide too. I got to do a video on it at some point. Jake from MTD, Mini Terrain Domain, here in the chat. Go check out his review. He has a really good review of the guide. So yeah, Justin, go see Mini Terrain Domain's review. After this stream, of course. Catching up in the chat a little bit here. Oh, I have sexy hands, apparently. Yeah, OF Dono too. I'm from Michigan too, so I get the debate of Michigan or Michigan State. Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people lose sight of the true enemy, Ohio State, however. That's the unfortunate thing. It's like, you know, we take our eyes off the true enemy. I'm just kidding. I'm making enemies here tonight. But no, I'm cool with Michigan State. Yeah, so I'm a high school teacher, and we have now a guy, one of my students from this past semester, super nice kid, and he just committed to Michigan State for basketball. So I'm going to have to root for Michigan State because I'm a big fan of his. I like him. He's a great kid. So that'll be a first for me, rooting for Michigan State. But no, I've rooted for Michigan State before when they've done well in the playoffs or in the in March Madness, the tournament. You know, the sporting tournament event, final ring bowl thing. That's what you call it. Sports. I hear my wife is home, slamming the door, gonna wake the kids up. All right. Let's see if I can get caught up in the chat here. Is this a map you created or is this part of a map? I understand it's about D&D. So Medieval 3D, this is just a fantasy map. You know, people make maps. A lot of people ask me this, you know, how does this fit into the game? You're making a map. How does this work in the game? So for those of you who are kind of new to D&D, usually the world map is just kind of a fun reference, totally unnecessary, but they can be a real fun reference. You can plop it down on the table and say, all right, where do you guys want to go? And, you know, they can see locations on the map. And that can be really fun. But it's not necessary for sure. Or you can kind of say, well, you guys were here and now you've been captured and you've been taken here. Stuff like that. So, and then, you know, the dungeon maps are the things that are more directly applicable, or encounter maps, we could call them, not always a dungeon. And so, or a town map, sometimes city map, but even those are optional. Some people never use maps and you just describe things and imagine it all in the theater of the mind. Guess how I spelled theater in that sentence. BB Gum, it's good for working out player backstories. Yeah, it is really cool for working out player backstories because you can ask your DM, like, what's that over there? What's that place like? And then they tell you, and it's like, yeah, I want to be from there. And it's like, okay, cool. And then maybe that gives the DM an excuse to kind of flesh that area out and talk more about, you know, what's going on in that part of the world and world build a little bit. Cedric, I gotta say, man, you are a super intelligent guy, and I've really enjoyed your comments in my videos lately. I have a generated world map right now, but I plan on making my own world map later when I have more cities and kingdoms ready. Yeah, that's cool. Night 9, watching from Serbia. What a trooper. You're awesome. Thanks for joining. 51 people. Man, I don't know. That might be a new high for the Mappening guys. And this with 2 days notice. I think I just informed people of this on my Facebook page. WASD20 on Facebook. Go like now if you're not, if you haven't already. Just 2 days ago on Monday night, or maybe it might have been Sunday night, pretty late. But anyway, short notice, and it must be that people are maybe on holiday vacations and such, and having a little more chill time. Oh, guys, it's cold. My hands are freezing. Void Talon, well, I'm subbed to you and YouTube, so it notified me you were live. Yeah, that's the other thing. Turn on those live notifications on YouTube. That's one way. And the other way, if you're watching this after the fact, especially some of you will be watching this in a couple days, I know, or tomorrow, and saying, what? How did I miss this? Make sure you get those YouTube notifications. So you get an email or sometimes even a phone notification when I go live, or subscribe to my events on Facebook. And I think you would just go to WASD20 on Facebook. You hit the like button to like the page, first of all, and then you can also subscribe to events. Henry Edwards, hello from England. Cool. Hi. Do I also create maps of local terrain? You know, I haven't done too much of that, but yeah, if you go to sellswordmaps.com, I do have one kind of terrain sort of map. That's a little more like zoomed in, if that's what you mean, like a little wooded village kind of. Yeah. Man, here's one of the things I love about doing these things and just being on YouTube in general is you hear from people from all over the world. So yeah, England, Serbia, got Denmark in the house. I love it. Lots of other places I'm sure I'm missing, but it's cool. It's cool to make those connections. I mentioned this on my little announcement video today, but I had the chance to go on a school trip to Germany, France, and Belgium. So that's happening next week. And I'm super excited, really, really excited. So that's going to be the focus of the trip will be World War II. I'm a history teacher, so this is a history focus. Although I'd love to do other things, and we're mainly going to be focusing on the history of World War II. So we're going to Normandy, learn a lot about D-Day. We're going to Paris. We're going to Berlin, the Topography of Terror Museum. What else? Yeah, we're going to a bunch of other places. Going to some sites from the Battle of the Bulge. Yeah, anyway, should be really cool. Should be really, really cool. The only thing that I know is like definitely not really that World War II focused. We do have the opportunity to go to Versailles. So yeah, that'll be amazing, I'm sure. All right, I'm going to read some comments here. How do you improvise every place while role-playing? You said something like your players want to go somewhere and you let them with your map, but you have some background of every location. So it's a good idea too, and often you're doing that by saying that, you can mention a village kind of in passing that you have some idea of. But no, sometimes you make up cities on the spot. You can totally improvise that. And it's handy to have some tools. Some of the someone mentioned Raging Swan, I think it's called. Press has some good like roll tables and improvisational tools, or the Dungeon Master's Guide. You can just roll for a city real quick, or just make it up. Once you get used to it, it's not that hard. But yeah, it is kind of intimidating at first for sure. Making up NPCs and towns on the spot. It's usually good to prepare a little bit and to ask players maybe the session beforehand, where do you guys want to go next session? At the end of a session, you can kind of give them some options. Well, you could pursue this quest over here, or you could pursue this over here, or if you wanted to investigate that thing further, you could go over here, and then they tell you, and the next time you can be ready to have that. That's a way I really prefer to do it. But sometimes, yeah, you really got to just like, oh, okay, they're throwing me for a loop here. Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to get back to mapping. I know there's a lot of other questions and great comments. Keep on talking in the chat, everybody. I'm going to keep on mapping here. So now I'm going to do some smaller islands. Just kind of, I keep spitting on the paper, guys. I don't know if you're seeing my saliva here, but it is real. Okay, let's see. Some smaller islands down here. Do a little chain. And so I'm just trying to make it, appear a little more kind of broken up. Yeah, so something like that. And then maybe we can do a little island here. And something right here. Cool. So far, it's going decent. Again, this might even just be a rough draft tonight that I go back and edit, but figure I'll start something. I'll do something. I'm drawing maps. I don't like those ones. Let's see. Maybe need to make it a little more similar to the way they are now, the shape. So I don't know geography that well, to be honest, geology and such, but I figure if there's one island that's kind of long and jagged, and there's these kind of long jagged things off of this landmass, that it makes sense to have multiple islands that look similar. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Cedric, the stream is going to be until it'll be another. I'm planning on going about another hour. That's the tentative plan. But it will be archived on YouTube, and you can always get caught up later. I will only hate you a little bit. I kid. Okay. Maybe something down here too. Just something like that. It's always nice. I enjoy giving the impression that, but there's more, right? By having these continents that reach off of the map, and not just having a single landmass. I mean, obviously that's the way it is. If you're doing a globe map, you're gonna see like, here are the continents, or here is the continent. But most of the maps I've done so far, for my own stuff, not for other people, have been, reaching off the map, off the borders of the map, because I always just like the idea of, I wonder what's up there. That curiosity, it's fun. Lewis 5039 says, what scanner would you recommend for hand-drawn maps, Nate? I do not have any good recommendations. I have a pretty old, probably 10-year-old Brother multifunction center thing, MFC something or other. That's it works okay. There are probably better scanners out there. It works okay. So yeah, I would just read some reviews, and maybe look specifically for some that do well with drawings, right? I don't know much about scanners, so I don't know if it does good for photos, it'll do great for drawings too. I just don't know much about them, unfortunately. But I do highly recommend a program in Windows called Image Composite Editor. That is a really thin pen. I think that's what it's called. Image Composite Editor. You know what? There's an easy way to check, guys. I have a computer right here. I happen to have a computer right here. It's ICE is the, what's sometimes called, yeah, Image Composite Editor. It's a free program, and you can download that, and then you can scan things that are, you can scan panorama images, or can stitch things together, basically. So if you have, like this is, well, let's measure it. It is more than 11 inches. And so it's going to be iffy. Mine does do a little bigger than 11 inches, but not much. I think it's like maybe 11 and a half. So this would not fit in my scanner all in one. So I would have to use Image Composite Editor to stitch them together. And it's a cinch. It's so easy. You just scan this, then you scan this, and then you say stitch, and it does it. So yeah, highly recommend that if you are scanning lots of maps and they are odd sizes. Okay, I'm going to use my number 5 once again, and I'm going to do these little islands. Actually, I should use number 3 if I can find it. I'm not organized here with these. There it is. Ye oldie Pigma Micron pen. All right, and I'm just doing these little islands here. Slightly thinner, just because some of them are pretty tiny. So I like to add these little islands, just gives kind of a jagged feel. I'm really digging the shape of this island right here. I don't know how I did that, but I made something I like, guys. I'm gonna hold on to that. Whenever I feel sad, I'm gonna remember that little island right there. How vain of me. All right, there we go. In case you are arriving late here, I opened the stream by asking what kind of holiday loot you came away with this year. So if you didn't get a chance to answer that, go ahead. What'd you get for Christmas, for Hanukkah, for Merry Christmas Kwanzaa? And specifically, especially if you got some gaming stuff. this year was pretty gaming light for me in terms of the stuff I got. Pretty light on the gifts, the fun gifts. Oh, my sister did get me. I mentioned this on the, what was it? What do we call it, Jake? The mini painting adventure. Got a heat gun for painting miniatures. I don't think I have it here. No, I brought it upstairs. And so that was cool. Very nice of her. In case you missed that, go check out the mini painting adventure on Mini Terrain Domain and on WASD 20. I did a little bit more work here on Barnabas Frost recently. Let me see if I can. Nope, not looking good. Well, there we go. So he's almost done. I think I'm still not totally satisfied with his sword. Going to work on that a little bit, and I also need to do the base a little more. And I think I got to do the pistol a little more. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of things I got to do, but I did make some progress since last week. Yeah, thanks, Incursion Gaming. I think he looks pretty good too. So yeah. And then I've been working on this one for the past, well, I started him on Christmas night. I primed him like a year ago, but Orc Berserker. And yeah, pretty happy with how that came out. It's a little dark, a little dull. Maybe I should have used some brighter colors. That's what I find is often tricky about these. But yeah, I have to constantly remind myself, go brighter than you think, Nate. But pretty happy with how that came out. Someone asked, do you have more of these in the Orc line? No, I don't. This is my only one. I would like to get them all, but I've got the Bones Kickstarter 3 coming, and I'm not going to buy any other miniatures because I've already got to finish up this guy, got to finish up this guy, got to finish up the Bugbear, got to finish up this lady. Almost done with her, and then I've just got a few more over there. So yeah, I got a lot of miniatures, guys, and my friend sent me a whole box of like D&D board game miniatures. So I will not have to buy miniatures ever again. Oh, okay. Get caught up in the chat here. Thanks for the compliments, guys, on the miniatures. It's fun. I've been getting back into it. I haven't done it in a while, but this Christmas break, this holiday break, it's one of those things that's been really relaxing for me, and I've loved it. MTD got some Dremel accessories for crafting. Oh, that's cool. A drinking horn, MTD, and a label maker, and a new mic arm and shock mount for my Yeti. That's awesome, dude. So what does a shock mount do? I was talking about this with you yesterday, and I never asked you. Oh, OF Don 02, you got a PS4. I'm so jealous. Really want to get a PS4. Or an Xbox One, either one, really. Guitar. Okay. Yeah. Browse. Got a guitar. That's awesome. Ollie bought himself a new PC. That's rad. Nice. Been given the money to start build. Henry Edwards has been given the money to start buying myself the D&D 5e core rulebooks. That's great. Very good. Dorigo Alagash got underwear. Prupra says, I got no gaming stuff at all. All presents went straight to Bunnyville, so my rabbits are happy. I've been spoiling myself, though. Yeah, that's me, too. I've been spoiling myself. I've been buying myself some stuff for sure. So I've got, that's the thing about being an adult. You want something, you just kind of buy it. That was with this one right here. It was like, I was going to ask for it, and then I saw it on sale for $25, and there was like 3 copies left, and I didn't want to miss out. So I was just like, I'm just going to get that. Okay, BB Gum says, my computer science teacher paints minis during class. That's so awesome. Or maybe not. I don't know. I can't imagine being a teacher and doing that. Yeah, Prooper says, by the way, this orc might just need a good wash to look spiffy. Yeah, definitely probably could use a little more washiness. I did give him a good wash on, well, I did wash him on all parts, actually. but I think that it is looking a little bit chalkier and lighter on the camera than it actually is in person. All right, so let's get back to the. Okay, I'll read a few more. Got a few Xbox One games. Incursion Gaming says that's awesome. Attaching the mini to the pill bottle, I use blue tack poster putty. Let me see if I can. I have found that not any poster putty works. Blue tack is stickier than most. I've also heard other suggestions, but I found this stuff to be really good. You can get it on Amazon, I believe, or at office supply stores. I know Jake does hot glue on his. I don't have a hot glue gun. He's a crafter, so he's got all that stuff. All right, let's get back to the map here. I want to erase. I'm tempted to erase some of the pencil lines, but you guys probably can't see them that well anyway, and it would just look like me rubbing my eraser on paper, which is kind of lame and boring. So I'm just going to keep going. And what I'm going to do is get back to the roots here of the series in a way. I haven't done this in a while, guys. Doing the whole underneath shading. So basically, I don't know if you would call this shading, but I'm darkening in the bottom edges of the continent, of the land masses, I should say. Just making them a little bit darker. And I swear I try, guys. I try to use my Micron pens, but for some reason, for this step, I always go back to the old Papermate Flare. I'm doing it. Let me just make sure it's not going to ruin my map. Yeah, that's good. For some reason, it works better for me. I think it's just thicker, maybe is what it is. And it's a little more sensitive to my pressure too. If I press harder, it does get thicker, which is really nice. I don't know if you guys remember, but I actually got spit on my map. Not what I was going to say. I actually got a fountain pen, a dip pen. There we go, dip pen. And I was planning to learn how to use that. And I just never got around to it. It's one of those things. I was all thinking I was going to learn calligraphy, and it's just, proved to be harder than I thought. And maybe I'll get to that someday. It is pretty cool. But that just reminded me of, I was just reminded of that because those things, you can get certain tips that are really sensitive to the pressure, right? You press harder and it gets a lot wider. But anywho. All right. Here we go. Okay. Let me see if MTD answered my question here. The shock mount suspends the mic in an inner ring supported by elastic bands. It keeps the noise from the swing arm from transferring to the mic. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. A lighting kit for photographing minis and terrain. Jake, I want to see that, man, in person, because I want to do that too. I want to take better photos of my minis. Yeah, get them all up on the mini painting subreddit a little more often, and maybe post them on Reaper's website too. I mean, that's one of the, this sounds bad. One of the main reasons I paint minis is A, because I enjoy it, but B, I like showing them off, saying like, hey, look what I did. And because I don't actually use them that often at the gaming table, because I just don't run games that often. And sometimes I run games online, in which case I don't use the minis. So I'm just, again, shading this bottom edge. That one got a little too dark. I'd probably touch that up in Photoshop. But I just like the look of it poisonally. I like to hum while I work. All right, moving along here. Got another question for the chat. I know a lot of you are PC gamers, not everybody. But that Steam sale's going on. Anyone get any hot deals on the old Steam winter sale? If you're anything like me, you're a little bit Steam sailed out. It's like, I already bought them all. All the same games are on sale, and I'm a little bit Steam sailed out. I've still got last Christmas and the year before last winter sales games that have not been played. Man. But I did get some. What did I get? Not Steam, but I did buy Titanfall 2, and I'm loving it so far. Got that on Origin for half off. What else? I bought my son Octodad. Actually, he paid for part of it. He saw that somewhere, and he's 7 years old, and was like, man, this game looks really cool, and I agreed. So we bought that. Octodad, Deadliest Catch. And let's see. I think that's about it. Oh, I bought Super Meat Boy for a friend who hadn't played it, and I scoffed at him. What? And you call yourself a gamer? So I bought it for him. Let's see what people are doing here in the chat. The light kit I got is super cheap too, right around 50. Nice. Yeah, the green screen, Jake. It's pretty cheap. You can get them for like $15. I got the green screen, and I've got a nice built-in setup for it that's like super easy. I've got a wall that bumps down, and I just tack it to the wall. But yeah, you might need a frame depending if you don't have that. You can tack it to the ceiling though. Let's see. I pre-purchased XCOM 2 when it came out, and I'm wishing I had waited and got it half off. I've been there, man. Yeah, where you just don't play it as much. Yep, contrivance. I hear you. ESO. I don't know what ESO is. Octodad is fun. Incursion gaming, you gotta play Super Meat Boy. It is so fun. It's very irreverent, you know, but I love that game, man. And it's $5 on Steam right now. I don't think you're in the US though. So, but yeah, got my eyes on a game. The Dwarves. Yeah, the Dwarves looked cool. I was thinking about reaching out to them when it first came out to see if they want to give me a key for a little review or preview copy or whatever for the channel. But I never got around to it. Sometimes that works for me. That's how I got Stellar Overload. Stellar Overload's one that I recommend people check out. I made a video on it earlier in the week, and it's pretty cool. It's kind of like Minecraft meets No Man's Sky meets Zelda. The eggnog is gone. So yeah, that one's Stellar Overload. It's pretty cheap. I think it's like less than $20. Well, that one got a little long too. Ideally, I would be probably leaning over this a little more, but I don't want to get my head in the way. My big bald head. Someone commented, I can't tell you how many comments I get about the shape of my head, guys. It's really interesting. People are so fascinated by the shape of my head. I know it's an interesting head. I agree. I completely agree. But I got one today on an older video. I think it was older. No, it was actually on one of my Stellar Overload videos. That said, I look like, okay, you got to help me out here. Said you could cosplay as, and it was like mega. Oh, now I can't remember. I think he's got purple skin, bald head, really big head. I got to look it up. Megamind. There we go. Yep. Oh, Jake. Okay, so infinite white background. Yeah, that's a good idea, man. I could do that. Yeah, because I don't have to get a light box necessarily. I guess a light box would still help for the lighting part of it. I tried to make a homemade light box. It didn't go that well. I just didn't have the lights for it, really. Now I probably do. I have better lights. Megamind, yep. Void Salon got it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, C. Lewis got it first. Oh no, Fatherly Monkey 6 got it first. A lot of people got it. Yep. There you go. I was like, yeah, that's fair. My head is kind of shaped like that. But I love that people sometimes get surprised when I respond so much to comments. And I had a couple students tell me that, man, you respond to like all your comments. And it's like, yeah, isn't that like what you're supposed to do? I don't know. Isn't that good? I think that's good. So once in a while, I think people are surprised when I respond to a comment like that, or someone's like, LOL, this dude's head, or something like that on a comment. And I'm like, then I go in there and comment, yeah, it's pretty interesting head, or something like that. And then I'm just picturing them like, oops, like, or whoa, he actually responded without, like getting angry and deleting my comment or something. It's like, yeah, you can't take yourself too seriously in this life. All right. So far, pretty happy with this. I can't see this being a rough draft anymore. I'm thinking it's going to be, it's going to be the one, but we'll see. Can always touch it up in Photoshop too. How am I on this fine evening? Cads asked. I'm doing pretty well. Cads, how are you? I am doing pretty well. I'm really enjoying the Mappening. I'm glad a lot of people are tuning in tonight. Looks like we got 50 viewers right now. That's awesome. Thank you guys for joining. And yeah, what else? What else was I gonna say? Yeah, my furnace is kind of bumming me out. We gotta spend a couple grand to get a new furnace. They're coming tomorrow to do that. And we just bought this house about 2 months ago. So that stinks. But our agent did tell us, yeah, the furnace is, probably only got a couple years left. It's pretty old. 2002. So sometimes, you can get 20, 25 years out of them, but a lot of times it's more like 15. And sure enough, there it goes. Happened on Christmas Eve. We noticed, the thermostat is just not coming on. And then the guy came out and fixed it. And we had heat on Christmas, which is good because we were hosting family over here. And we had heat. And then promptly the next morning, the 26th, it was off again. So yeah, we got to get a new furnace. Wink from Sweden, welcome. That's awesome. It's 10:15 where I am, 10:15 p.m. So, not too late. Mike the Piper says, I only delete comments on my channel if they're hateful toward others. Yeah, I'll delete a comment if it's clearly just hateful toward me too. Someone who's just intentionally trying to be a jerk and probably didn't even watch the video or I don't know what. But yes, definitely if it's hateful towards someone else, definitely that comment is gone. So I've probably deleted, I would say less than 5 comments ever, would be my guess. All right, I think we're about done with that step. Oh, I got to do this right here. Now there's not going to be much down here. It's always kind of tricky to know what to do with. You want to do a little bit of the shading on those, the bold lining, but it's not many bottom edges on a continent like that, on a landmass like that. So Yeah. I'm pretty happy with how this is going, guys. This map and this this stream. But I was talking about the map in this case. All right, let me get a little bit caught up on the comments here. It's 3 a.m., dude. Go to sleep. No, stay here. John Schwartz says, Mike, I have yet to see hatred of any level in this community. A little bit of a silly live chat troll, but otherwise no argumentative types. Yeah, it's really a positive community. Frank and Rob 1 says, hello from Puerto Rico. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hablo poquito español. Yo enseñé el español hace 10 años, but I'm really rusty. It's been a while. And thanks for mapping along with me, man. Let me scroll back up. People talking about Elder Scrolls. I love me some Elder Scrolls games. Absolutely love them. I just got these. Speaking of like treating yourself and buying yourself Christmas gifts, I got these a few weeks ago. Pretty awesome. Little Skyrim vinyls. But yeah, love me some Elder Scrolls. Let's see what else people are saying here. Clayton Smith says, I was crying once. It was because I didn't know how to play D&D 5e, but then I came to this channel. This channel has helped me learn and come to a better understanding with D&D and role-playing games. Awesome. Thanks so much, Clayton. I'm glad. He still cries, though. I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. You should get some help, man. Yeah, those lovely Void to Lung Gaming says those lovely, hey, you want subs, then click my link type stuff. Yeah, they show up once in a while, but it's pretty rare. I also get people who just come on and say, give me a shout out, give me a shout out, give me a shout out. And it's just like, nope. Eventually, maybe I'll kick you, or you'll probably just give up. Tronic Art, yeah. Speaking a little Espanol tonight. My kids, my boys, are both in Spanish immersion school. So I'm getting to practice with them a little bit, which is really cool. But yeah, I studied Spanish. I used to teach it. I miss it sometimes. I need to learn a little bit of German and French here in the next week. Yeah, just a little bit. I think we'll be mostly with tour guides that speak English, but yeah. All right, next steps. I could plot in some mountains. I could, let's see, do some lakes and rivers. I could do some forests. And what I usually do is start with mountains. So I think I'm going to do that. I kind of like the clean look of it right now. But so I can always remove stuff later if I feel like that's necessary. But I think I'm going to do some mountains. So yeah, MTD, shut up. Oh no, I did it. I shouted him out. Ugh. I gave him what he wanted. I fed the troll. Joseph Klug says German speak English too. You know what? I love that. I appreciate that. I also wish Americans learned more languages. Yeah, I wish I had. German was next on my list, actually. When I was studying Spanish in college, German was like, okay, maybe I should take some German classes. I'm going to sharpen my pencil a little bit here. I'm not going to use my F. I'm going to use my 2H. If I can find it. 2H. There you are. By the mouse pad. Emily Axon says, really enjoying your stream, even though I don't play D&D or anything. You've got a soothing voice. Well, thanks. Gbros map name. Yeah, I could name this thing. I don't think I'm going to. At least I'm not going to write a name on there because I'm going to have somewhere just Sellsword Maps, the logo. You can go to sellswordmaps.com, and it's that logo at the banner, just the text there. I'm going to put that on here somewhere in Photoshop. So yeah, and I don't think I'm going to label other things. I think I want to keep it fairly clean, but we'll see. You know, maybe it could happen. Crazier things have happened. All right, so in terms of drawing mountains, I usually start by just drawing the pencil peaks. You can't see that very well. There you go, something like that. I don't know why it shows up so well when I tip it like this and it doesn't otherwise, but we'll deal with it. I saw today, I actually sent it to Mike the Piper and Barker and some of the other guys in a chat, a picture of this drawing desk that I'll just show you guys. It's kind of a mapping dream. See here, photos. Hey, there's a bunch of videos of me. All right. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, you can see that. You can't see the wood finish very well, but it had a really cool wood finish to it. It's all wood except for these metal parts, just a couple metal parts there. And it looked so cool. It was on sale. And I was like, man, this looks like something an 18th century cartographer would use. And I want it. But nah, first I have to build a wall in here for the office to see how much space I actually have. But I would like to get a drawing table. And that, my friends, would tilt this map up just right. Instead, I'll use my hands here. All right, so I'm going to be doing a mountain range along the coast. Mountain range placement is always, it's a good idea to sometimes follow a coastline, or anyway, they're in some sort of line usually. So that's what I'm doing here, putting them in a line. And sometimes if you still have steep, large peaks out to the edge like this, that you would then see those islands out here because the mountains continue into the sea basically. And so these would still be peaks sticking out of the water in the form of islands. But I'm not going to be doing that here. I'm going to kind of let it dwindle right about there instead. So, yep. John Schwartz, Nate confidently opening the photo app on the live cam. Yeah, I did consider that. I was like, am I doing this? Yeah, I'm doing this. I got nothing to hide. I don't think, now that I say that. I have to check. Did you guys see anything inappropriate? No. Good. Nothing inappropriate. Do I have any inappropriate pictures anywhere on here? No, I don't. Confidence. There we go. Utter confidence, guys. All right. All right. So there's some mountains. Where else can we do mountains? Mountains are going to be out here. Yeah, definitely. This one I'll do not hugging the coast so much, just to keep some variety here. I'll do some mountains out here, going out to the coast, but not totally hugging the coast, more going horizontally this time. All right. And for now, again, I'm just drawing little peaks, and I'm going to be fancying them up later. MTD says, Nate, you could make a simple desktop angled drawing surface with a piece of MDF and some door stops for legs, less than $20 at Lowe's. It's not a bad idea, Jake. Although I'm kind of a sucker for like fancy looking things. That's not a bad solution for sure. We'll do more mountains over here, kind of going in this region here. My wife sure is thumping around upstairs. She must be working on something. We're doing a lot of little things on the house, hanging up curtains and pulled up some carpet and all kinds of stuff going on. That's what happens when you buy a house. All right, so that's pretty good. I think those are just going to stay right there. Cad says, hey, Nate, will you be doing a New Year's live stream? No, I won't. sometime I'd like to do that. I think that'd be a lot of fun because a lot of us, if you're like me, you're not super social, unless it's online. And that would be a cool thing to do, for people who don't really have many plans on New Year's. Hang out and have a live stream, maybe bring in some guests. That'd be a lot of fun. I definitely thought about doing some kind of Christmas special, and I mentioned that. Never got around to it. And I love the idea of having a kind of variety show like that and bringing in some guests and interviewing some people and talking about some things and doing some silly games, like really make it like a talk show, Yeah, that'd be cool. All right. So, a river. There's going to be a river right here. So we find these natural inlets, and that's where I usually prefer to do rivers. Not that they're always going to be there. You can have a river that's just coming out of any sort of area landmass. But I like the idea of a river coming out of here. So I'm just going to draw that in. And yep, do that. And then we'll also have it coming from like right here. Rivers join together, but they rarely split. Here we would have probably a river coming out of the mountains. And maybe a couple rivers. Yeah, we'll have another one coming from these mountains to there, but taking a rather winding path. And then we'll have one coming from the mountains here all the way down to here, and coming out of the mountains right there too. So you guys might not be able to see that, so I'll tilt it up here so you can see kind of what I'm doing with those rivers. Cad says, trust me, we are probably all like you if we watch a live stream on New Year's Eve. Yeah, I am getting together with friends this New Year's Eve. I am. But I have young kids, so we're not staying out super late. So I probably could do something, but I probably won't. I should probably hang out with my wife. But yeah, usually we do stuff with my wife's parents. This year we were kind of worried about what they would say. Like, we're going to get together with some friends, actually. Some other friends with young kids, so none of us will be out super late. But we're kind of nervous about that because they don't have many friends. They mostly hang out with us, and which creates, some interesting problems from time to time. We love them. They're great. I like hanging out with them. But anyway, I shouldn't say more. Guys, I'm going to go refill my water. I don't have any water. I'm going to go get some water. Okay, I'm out. I'll be right back. Oh yeah, eggnog too. Yeah. I'm back. All right. I got a little more eggnog, just a half a cup, and I got some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles water. Okay, let me check something real quick before I jump back here. Okay, cool. Let me get the chat window back up so I can see what you guys have been up to while I was gone. Messing with me, I'm sure. Wear a spangly jacket, please. I must have missed something here. I'm not going to scroll all the way back up. But Contrivance, thank you for the suggestion on the eggnog. Brilliant. All right. Tarigo Alagash, did you just buy the house? Furnish should be covered, I think. Talk to your realtor. You know, my wife mentioned that, and we should. You're right. We should. It's been about 2 months. Tronic Art, this map is not for something, well, it is, yeah, it is for something. I'm making a map bookmark, which is kind of an odd thing, but this is eventually going to be a bookmark. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to scan it in and make a bookmark. And it is a patron reward for patrons who are given $10 or more a month, which I think I only have 2 of those right now. But yeah, the Patreon thing is kind of new, and anyway, I'm not going to say too much about it. I don't want to be a shill and you know, totally, you know, I don't like talking about money a whole lot, and I don't like talking about, hey, give me money, give me money, give me money. But it is a Patreon reward, and if you are interested, you can go check my Patreon page, which is, if I can remember it, I think it's just Patreon. Yeah, it is. Patreon.com/WASD20. And there's some little rewards, nothing big, like, you know, yeah. Anyway, I have a video up there that kind of explains what I'm thinking on that. I just posted a video up there why I'm doing that. And anyway, I still have kind of some misgivings about like just asking for money all the time because, you know, I make a little money, and that's great, and I'm happy to make a little money, and on the YouTube channel, enough to like buy some gaming stuff and kind of have fun with upgrading equipment and getting nice stuff that, you know, I can then use to make better videos, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get down and continue the map here. Let's draw some of these mountains, actually, shall we? In ink, I mean. Let's ink some of these mountains. Yeah. So I had a note here of things I need to add to the description. Materials. I will add a note to the description of the video of materials I'm using tonight, which are just my standard materials. But yeah, I'm using Pro Art drawing pens. Sorry, I'm really thirsty. I had to get that water, and I'm like guzzling this water. Talking makes me thirsty. Pro Art drawing pencils, Sakura Pigma Micron pens, and this right here, just kind of a simple drawing pad that one of my kids scribbled all over. In fact, it's funny, the video I did on my maps, the mountain drawing video I did about a month ago, maybe a month and a half. The next day after I filmed that one, I left it out on my desk here, which is kind of in the corner of the basement, like a little bit walled off. And my daughter had like scribbled all over that. And I was just like, okay, guess I'm not going to be scanning that and like uploading it to the, anyway, I don't think I was anyway, but it was just like, well, glad I finished that video. Oh boy. All right. So the mountains here. Should I do the ridgeline technique or not? I'm going to do it, which is going to involve more penciling. Because I got to do that. Okay. Now I'm going to draw that ridge line. And see how this goes here. I'm still not super confident in this style. Even after all this time, I can usually get it to look decent, and I've gotten better at it, but still not like, I don't know, just it doesn't come super naturally to me still. Okay, so I'm doing a couple different like ridge lines here. This one will go out here to this mountain, and then this will go like that, like that. And I think that'll be pretty good, but I might add in more later. So that's the ridge line, and I made a little video on it a while back. Kind of how I've been tweaking that. And one thing I actually have been meaning to do is I will be making a video on it, but in that video, which I'm going to steal this. I'm using this as my light might be thrown off for a second. It'll get brighter because I was using this to actually block out the light. Here's the one that my daughter scribbled on. See, yeah, you can't see that very well. Let me get a piece of paper to block out the light a little bit because it's just too bright. Okay, there we go. So you can kind of see my daughter's scribbles there. There we go. But she's 2. But the thing that a guy said in the comments, and I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. This is a little too windy wandering for most mountain ranges. Most mountain ranges are actually a little more like that. The one that at first I was like, I don't like them like this. But anyway, sometimes you go by a rule of cool and you just, think like, well, what looks cool? It doesn't always need to be realistic. Sometimes you just want to do what looks right. So, yeah, but there's definitely a way to get good-looking mountains that still, follow a little bit more of a straight path, which is more natural, more realistic. So, anyway, I'm going to put this back up as my, what do you call it? Diffuser, light diffuser. This was part of my tweaking for 20 minutes, trying to figure out how to get it to look better. Oh, okay. The struggle till I get a professional lighting setup. She noticed I missed some shading, says Contrivance. Yeah. Incursion Gaming, she's great at drawing. I'm going to tell her that. Cedric, she is mean. You're right. All right, so here we go. Okay. Getting it centered, and we're good to go. Let me get caught up on comments here. MTD has the same Ninja Turtle cup. Yeah, these are birthday. My kids have Skylanders, Spider-Man. I can't remember. We got a bunch of them, usually from birthday parties. Cool dwarven city names. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's cool. Feel free to throw stuff out there like that because there's 59 gamers here, guys. So if you need anything, you're trying to build a world, you're trying to draw a map, you want some ideas, throw it out there in the chat. People will answer. People help. I love that. Oh, nice. Month is almost. Cedric says, can't wait to get my Patreon, though. Joined early this month, so it hasn't gone through yet. Ah, well, thank you, Cedric. Yeah. Oh, man, I love those dwarven city names you guys came up with. Very cool. Whoa, let me throw my pen. All right. Let's draw some of these. Guys, I'm being bold here, and I'm just going to do it in pencil, or a pen, rather. Just going for it. I'll draw fairly lightly here. And I can draw in some hills later too. That's kind of a nice thing to do, is have some foothills. But for now, I'm just taking that ridge line and I'm drawing straight out from it, these kind of swooping lines. Once in a while, making a little jagged one like that. All right. Doing okay here. And I learned from Questing Beast that sometimes it's nice to make a little, like, I don't know, like you have a line there and you do another line that starts a little different place on the peak, but it joins with it like that. Create these nice little nooks and crannies, shadows, places where shadows can live. Oh man, that was so Bob Ross right there. Places where little shadows can live here. There is on Netflix, guys, a Bob Ross like documentary, I think, or something. There's we were watching Civil War last night, actually. We got a new sound bar. Oh man, so many stories. We got a new sound bar, guys. It's the first time I've ever had non-stock speakers for a TV, and let me tell you, what was I thinking? It was awful. Anyway, the sound bar is nice. So we were going to watch Civil War, and their sound bar wasn't working, and we're like, you know, it's new. We got to. I was still trying to figure it out, basically, and just wasn't selecting the right input. And anyway, so I was like, well, I don't want to spoil Avengers, so we stopped watching, or not, Captain America: Civil War. Jeez, I can't tell a story. Can't watch that while I'm trying to figure out the sound. Let's save that for when we get the sound figured out. So I put on this Bob Ross documentary. I was like, what is this? I don't think it was just straight up The Joy of Painting. I don't know if anyone's seen that. It was not called The Joy of Painting. It was called something else. Bob Ross's show is called The Joy of Painting. This was not. Delicious eggnog. It's gone. So I definitely need to check that out. That's the moral of the story. I'm going to draw some mountains up here too, because I don't like the idea. I want it to go off the page once again, just like my landmass does. All right, cool. All right, let's get caught up on comments. It could be a convergence. John Schwartz says it could be a convergence of more than two tectonic plate boundaries if I am using my terms correctly. Yeah, for the wandering mountain range, maybe, yeah. Bad idea, Nate, for the pen, I assume. Yeah. Nate, do you have light from both sides? Yeah, I do have light from both sides. Yep. I've got some little lights up here on the desk, and I've got a big light that away. And I've got the problem with this one right here is I've got it really close because I have a wall right here. And it's just like a little too close and bright. So it tends to wash it out. And I mess with the settings and stuff, but I found that using a piece of paper as a diffuser seemed to work pretty well. Thought about using low wattage daylight bulbs. Yeah, that's a good idea. When I'm bored, I text random numbers. I hid the body. Now what? Incursion gaming. I love that. You're evil. What kind of soundbar? Durigo Allagash. I got a Vizio soundbar. We have a Vizio TV. It was kind of cheap. I think it was, you know, on the cheaper side of soundbars with subwoofers. But not having one before, it was just like, man, this is amazing, right? I'm sure people who are audiophiles would be like, no, that's not a good one. But for us, it's amazing compared to what we had. The bass rumbles nicely. Watching Captain America: Civil War with that thing was pretty awesome. So that was our first viewing experience. We also, with the boys earlier in the day, we just put it on Bluetooth, which has Bluetooth, which is nice. played the Imperial March and some other like Star Wars music. The boys loved that. Really cranked it with some good bass. All right. So the shading I'm going to be doing digitally. I'm sorry to disappoint you, my friends, but that will not be getting done today. I will do a few more lines in here, add a little more detail with my pen, but I will probably add some more as I see fit to do so in Photoshop. We'll do some little foothills here. That was my 05 I was just using to really get some fine details in there. And then the rivers. Let's do this. Winding river. MTD says, I have a THX certified home theater. I can never go back to stock audio. Oh man, our TV was so bad too. Guys, look, this is how bad our stock TV speakers was. Speaking of Skyrim, before I had a really good gaming PC, I got Skyrim on the Xbox 360. And it was an anniversary gift from my wife, actually. Love you, honey. So I got Skyrim for my anniversary, and I just played so much of that over winter break. Sorry, I'm looking for my other pencil, guys. There we go. And in that game, the center channel of my TV is so bad. Like, there was actually a firmware update that fixed it, but then like I think somehow it stopped taking effect. I don't know what happened. I accidentally deleted that update from the TV, but they actually sent me a flash drive and said, you know, here, it's not a smart TV, so they had to send me a flash drive in the mail. And there's a firmware update. Now I think you can download them on your own flash drive and all this. But basically, I would have to, in Skyrim, if I was talking to someone, I would go up and I would click on them and say, like, okay, you know, hit A or whatever to speak with this person, or Y or whatever it was, and then turn sideways so that I could hear them. It was ridiculous. And I was just like, it was just what I did. I just got used to it. So, and yeah, certain shows and movies would just be like so bad. It would just sound terrible. And it's like, you're always turning it up and down because, you know, we have young kids and we can't just have it cranked up all the way. So like at some points you would not be able to hear anything. And other times it would be like way too loud. And so like during the big action sequences, you're like, oh, I gotta turn this down. And it was just a real big pain. So I'm thinking that's pretty much taken care of now, pretty well fixed. All right, I've got another ridge line there. And I'm just grabbing pens and pencils like crazy. I don't multitask well, so I'm just talking and not paying good attention. We'll go with a number 3 for the ridge line. There we go. And then we're going to do another one that kind of joins up with it. And maybe we'll do, one thing I didn't really do is some foothills. So I'm going to do some little hills over here on this one. And then yeah, that's good. I'm not going to do them everywhere, but I do like to make some hills. And while maybe realistically they would look more like small mountains, and maybe I should use the ridgeline technique, for some reason I always do them this way. It's a more, you know, stylized look, a little more, you know, iconic rather than like an icon, a symbol, rather than actually trying to be realistic, super realistic. But all right, yeah, now we'll go with the number 3. Yep, I'll stick with the number 3 for these slope lines, I'll call them. First, I'll do that side. And then we'll do this side, which you can't see much of. That's the hard thing about doing this style with that ridgeline style. When you've got them going fairly horizontally, it can be tricky. Fantastic Maps actually has a video in which he examines exactly that, I think. Or maybe he did it. I can't remember if it was a video or if it was a tutorial on his website. But just Google Fantastic Maps. He's got great tutorials. I used to be really into his stuff. I haven't watched it in a while or paid much attention to his stuff for a while just because I haven't been super into mapping. And I go in spurts in terms of who are my go-to people. For a while it was him. Then Max's maps were super inspirational for me. Max's maps are just killer, amazing. But yeah, he did a tutorial on drawing horizontal mountain ranges and kind of the difficulty of doing that sometime with a ridgeline technique. So yeah, looking pretty good so far. So once again, I'm going to be doing the shading digitally mainly. I will go in and get a little more detail with my number 005. The last one I can grab. No, not there. It is. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm sorry I haven't done this sooner. I should have. But let me see if I can still zoom in while I'm streaming. Yeah, okay. Hey, not bad. Sorry I didn't do that sooner, guys. Let me catch up in the chat here. Just a few more minutes, guys. I am LOLing watching Nate pick up and put down the same pen like 5 times while talking. Exactly, Jake. Exactly. When do you assume the next stream will be? I am assuming at the end of January I will do one. And I want to do one in February too. I've got a couple of guests in mind. One who I've talked to who said he's interested. And that would be the guy from, I think it's 2 Minute Maps. I don't know his name right off the top of my head, but I think it's 2 Minute Maps. He does like encounter maps and they're awesome. And so I'm planning to have him on and we'll do some mapping together and maybe I can just kind of learn at his feet, study what he does. And I haven't talked to him yet, but I'm going to ask Hankerin from Drunkens and Dragons to join me for one. He's a guest I want to get as well because he's just a really good artist and illustrator, and I would love to say, hey, let's draw some maps together and see what he says. So yeah. Mike, you say, I'm looking forward to my next set of monster videos. I'm studying Komodo dragon behavioral adaptations. What? I love that. Yeah, go check out Mike the Piper's monster videos. He's posted a couple in the past couple days. He's going through the monster manual. This guy's a nut. He's going through the monster manual A to Z. And he's going to do a video on every monster and just kind of how to get the most out of it if as a DM, how to squeeze the most out of that CR. But yeah, pretty awesome. All right, so just a little bit left here. I'm just going to go in and do a little bit of detail, kind of like shading, kind of shading-ish. Not really. Missed a line right there. I do sometimes, I've done it too, but I see people send me maps and they kind of forget like that there should be a line right there, you know, on that side of the ridge too. And it's kind of, it is a little tricky. Like, where do you draw the line? Not, that was a bad pun. How do you decide whether or not there should be a line there? There we go. At what angle is it going to be too steep? Actually, I'm really proud of myself for that pun, guys. Got to be honest. Should have rolled with it. It's a good teacher pun. Make the students groan. Oh, that was terrible. It's my job. All right, pretty good. I'm going to widen the mouth of this river a little bit as it goes out into the sea. So I think I probably will do maybe a compass rose on here digitally. It's what I'm leaning towards. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is coming out here. I wonder though, I wonder if I should have done it vertically, since it's a bookmark that you're usually going to be looking at that way. I'm not going to stress it. Maybe I will eventually. Maybe I'll have to redo it all. But yeah. All right. I want to close, guys, by doing something kind of interesting. I just dug something out of the basement here, the storage area, recently, that just sent me back. And we were talking about it the other day, and it is this series of books that some of you know, called the Icewind Dale trilogy. And I had them, and I'm looking for them, and I'm not finding them. Where did I put them? Okay, maybe I won't, guys. Hold on one sec. Well, guys, I don't think that's happening. I think I left them upstairs. Okay, I got to do it. I got to go get them. I mean, sorry, guys. I just need one more water break. Okay, I got him, guys. I got him. So yeah, me and Jake from MTD were talking about in the last stream the Drist books, and I think he's reading them or listening to them, and I read them, a few of them way back in the day, and I just thought I would show off some of the maps in these books, since it's the Mappening, and we're talking about maps. First off, there's this one. This was my first experience in fantasy, guys. And it probably was for many of you too. The Hobbit. This is not the original book I had. This is actually my wife's, that she had. I think my dad still has the original one I had that I read. It was his copy. But Tolkien, the master, right? Look at this. So this one, not super detailed, but that's a map, guys. I love his handwriting. I just love it. And then of course the Lord of the Rings map, and he has many more maps. But this is right here. This is kind of where it all started. This was my first contact with Dungeons and Dragons, any Dungeons and Dragons product, I should say. And I think that this is still the original book I read. Oh man, it must have been 1995-ish, 94, I don't know. It's been a while. So, and I'm sure I got it at the used bookstore. There were a couple used bookstore, and man, that smell. So anyway, this is where a lot of my love for fantasy started. I got to give props to my friend Will. He goes by Recluse on the channel Recluse All Night, because he was like my best bud in 6th grade, and he was the one who introduced this to me. Go check out his channel. He has a virtual reality related channel, PC gaming. He's got good stuff. Recluse All Night, night with a K. But yeah, this he's the one who got me into these, and they're great. So look at those maps. Nothing fancy, but I love the borders. I love the borders. Fantasy maps have come a long way for sure, you know. Nowadays you get much better maps in fantasy books, but there's still something to these. And the thing that really struck me as I was looking at this today, that the technique of doing the coastline, I didn't do it on my map tonight, but that's almost how I do my coastlines. You know, that's almost how I do my water. It's very similar. So Yeah, I didn't realize that. Kind of cool. And then of course you've also got the other ones in the series. You can take a look. I think there's different maps. This is Streams of Silver, book 2. This does not look like the original one that I read. It's in way too good a condition. But another map here. Bruner's Trail, Neverwinter, The Spine of the World, Icewind Dale, Sea of Moving Ice. Oh man, good stuff. Really cool. Silvery Moon. Let's see if there's any others. Nope. And I don't know if the Halfling's Gem has a different one. Book 3 in the trilogy, the Icewind Dale trilogy. Oh, it does. Yep. Definitely does have a different map. So, yeah. Good memories. Hey, I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm gonna get caught up in the chat here before I depart. But yeah, I'll type in Recluse all night just so if you guys are looking for him. I think it's all one word is how he does it. Okay, so yeah, those borders are so cool. MTD. Dorigo Elegash says, my son lost the crystal shard. I had to buy another copy. Shocked I haven't found the old one yet. Oh boy. Fatherly Monkey 6, I loved The Hobbit. Yeah, man, that's where it all started for me. I think I was in 6th or 7th grade. Yes. Nate, do you add the old sea creature images like the maps from the 1600s? I do sometimes. Yeah, I have. I like those, Joseph. So I've done that on a couple maps. Nate, that should be a regular, MTD says, Nate, that should be a regular series on your channel. Where do you draw the line? It's a good pun. It is title worthy. Yeah, it is title worthy. Let's see. Is it true that D&D, Reese G says, D&D 3.5e is the best edition? I prefer 5th edition personally. I've actually never played 3.5. I've played Pathfinder, which is pretty much 3.5. I prefer 5th edition personally for its simplicity and a little more DM fiat, DM freedom. It's a little, there's fewer rules. The rules are less detailed, we'll say. Yeah, and the Tronic Art says, and the maps don't look that elaborate with many details, but they look amazing. Yeah, they do. They do. Joseph Klug says, I just got hooked on the old D&D cartoon and action figures from the late 80s. Oh, man, I have yet to really watch much of that. I've seen little bits and pieces. But, yeah, you can get the whole set on DVD, and it's not that expensive because there weren't that many of them. Yeah, if you want to read more about how that show came to be, I highly recommend Empire of Imagination. Great book, all about Gary Gygax and the birth of Dungeons & Dragons. Some of you are saying don't leave. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just fall asleep right here. That'd be creepy. No, I should get going, guys. I want to thank you again so much for joining me. Whenever I finish this bookmark, I'll put some photos probably up on the Facebook page, so make sure you like WASD20 on Facebook. I don't think I'll be doing like a separate video on it, but yeah. I'll keep you posted, and I do hope to do another Mappening in late January. I get back from Europe, like around the 10th or 11th, and then jump. I've got a busy season here. I'm taking a class. I'm trying to finish up my master's degree in educational technology, so it's going to be a busy time. And I've got the young family, the new house, and all that. But hopefully, can stay on top of things and keep on with the content. And man, I'm flattered and honored that 50-something people stuck around for 2 hours to hang out with me. So awesome. You guys rock. Thanks for all the compliments and all the great conversation, all the ideas, and everyone have a wonderful night. Happy New Year. I really do hope that your 2016 ends well, and I wish you the best as 2017, there we go, as 2017 kicks off. I hope it's a great one. I hope you get lots of good gaming and let your imagination and your pencil run wild. Everybody take care. You'll see me again soon.